fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going around the outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
It's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
Are you spending a lot of time looking for setups and struggling for faster lap times? Are you tired of searching online for answers? Would you like to get setups, analysis and tutorials from some of the best sim racers in the world like Ralph Fowler, Mitchell de Jong, Martin Krunker, Josh Rogers and many more? If so, virtualracingschool.com is the answer you've been looking for. VRS data packs provide hot laps from our professional coaches for you to analyse and replicate. They provide tutorials that walk you through the fastest laps and what the pros did to achieve the best times. And they provide the setups you need to ensure your car is competitive in both oval and road racing. If you're ready to get faster and reach more podiums sooner than later, just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a free account today. Are you spending a lot of time looking for setups and struggling for faster lap times? Are you tired of searching online?
Good evening, one. Good evening, all. Welcome back to SimSpeed TV here on a Thursday night with something a little bit different this evening. To those of you who might be tuning in and normally here with us on a Thursday for the Simrex.com Oz Pro Am Sim Series, unfortunately, not being able to get to that this evening due to clashing commitments and sudden unavailability. So, just for myself personally, big thanks to the OzPass crew for appreciating the sudden change in situation in terms of the unavailability, meaning that we're here tonight with the Ozicar Festival of Speed, and we will get back to OzPass next week with the penultimate round of their season. My name is Daniel Yeaman. David Hangs alongside me once again in the commentary box, and Scott Fontaine on production tonight. Well, David, something a little different from our usual Thursday night racing, as has been for the past couple of weeks, but a little interesting product, I think, all the same for us here tonight. 2 races, 2 different car classes, and 2 prizes up for the drivers here tonight at the conclusion of said races, which we'll have a chat about later on here in a moment's time.
Yeah, Aussie car love a little bit of a special event, be it a hill climb, be it something else, and they're trying out the Festival of Speed, and it's some very intriguing little formats.
There we are. So you can see in the background here, welcome to the virtual Winton Motor Raceway. And tonight, our first of 2 races is in the iRacing Formula V car this evening. 25 minutes on the clock, 15 laps will be our race tonight. And hopefully get those grid positions up for you in just a second. So unfortunately, those don't quite look right. At least, ta-da! That looks a little bit more like what I was expecting. Apologies there for the introduction. So, as you see there, our top 3 positions covered by some real-life race drivers here amongst this evening. That being, of course, Chaz Mostert, Jake Kostecki, and Nick Percat rounding out our top 3, David, and our fastest 3 times on the grid so far. Then it's Eddie Beswick rounding out that second row, with Brody Shepard and Sean McKenzie taking out positions 5 and 6 on the grid of the Formula V tonight. Then we're going to have Sean Doyle out of P7 with Caleb Hydes alongside him in 8th place. Alex John in 9th, has Cameron McLeod alongside in 10th, and it's Nathan Verney and Timothy Harris rounding out our first 12 positions here. Over the page then we go to Matthew Harriott in 13th place, Lillian Banks was 14th, Wilhelm Layton 15th, Peter Wilkinson 16th, Leon Williams 17th, Callum Heinrich 18th, and then it's Cameron Dance and Darren Lesueur, I believe, were the last 2 cars to be attempting to qualify, but no times from them in qualifying. And well, Cameron not on the grid yet. Ira Felberg also in the server, but I believe standing by as race control tonight. So, as always, helping make the series possible. So, we just await now. Cameron Dance making his way onto the grid now. 19th place for him. So, 20 cars for the first of 2 races here tonight. 15 laps for these guys around here. And, well, lapping in the 1 minute 30s means we should get all of those laps in fairly comfortably, barring a monumental accident that requires some safety car intervention here tonight.
Yeah, about ready to go, and it's the perfect size track for this style of car.
That will indeed. Well, there comes the revs, folks, as we get ready for the first of 2 races tonight. And there we are. We're underway. pretty much a drag race off the front of the field, but look at them filing out now, pardon me, David. Here we go into turns 1 and 2 for the first time tonight. And these guys having to get back in line. Look, we've got 3 wide for the fight for 4th place. They have to settle it back down pretty quick, though, and get themselves sorted out. Going to be Chaz Mostert leading Kostecki and Percat, top 3. But Percat's immediately looking to the inside of Kostecki at turn 3 here as we come into lap 1. Not able to make it work there, David, so he has to try and get back in line. Spin, unfortunately, mid-pack. Timothy Harris is around in one of the locked-on iRacing cars. That's not the start to his race that he would like as we see the leaders make their way up into turns 5, 6, 7 for the first time here tonight, unfortunately. More troubles as well. Liam Banks, pardon me, just out of turn 4 has come undone as well. So, yeah, several drivers. Another driver up out of 5 and 6 there, pardon me. Looks like one of the top split TV guys. And I saw Alex John's name in the server earlier. And yes, he's on the radio indeed. The 77 Alex John was off in the grass there earlier, David. So, dramatic opening lap straight away. And yep, on the radio to race control. And we'll have to see if something comes about that in the next couple of laps or so.
Layout that should be incredibly familiar to all of our racers, and already look how powerful that slipstream is for these Vs, weaving a little bit on the back straight.
Yeah, I expect we'll see plenty of that tonight. Indeed, no surprises there. Low power cars, decent slipstream mechanics, so get in line and enjoy the ride while you can. As we see here in the mid-pack, got ourselves a bit of a scrap currently building here, and I believe that is... Yep, Sean McKenzie in the golf colours there, trying to fend off Caleb Hides for 6th place, but Caleb Hides through on the inside at turn 1. He's able to get the job done around the outside at turn 2 there, David, so job done, not too much momentum loss, and hopefully now for the 92 there, he can go and chase after 5th place, which is Eddie Beswick ahead in the number 30, and try latch onto that group of cars up ahead of him, but he'll now be the one dragging this group of cars along behind him because they all look like they've got decent pace here, though McKenzie a little wide off turn 4, just so I'm mentioning that there. So those kind of little mistakes there, dipping a wheel in the gravel, not much, but with these kind of cars, that's the kind of momentum loss you don't really want. As we see here, back of that top 8 battle pack, it's, yeah, Cameron McLeod there, trying to get up the inside of Sean Doyle, not able to make it work at turn 7, so tucks back in after thinking about the outside for turn 8, and he brings the nose back to the inside. Turn 9, that's brave there, though, from McKenzie. Shuts the nose on him. Now, pardon me, sorry, Doyle shutting the nose on McLeod, my apologies. And able to get away without too much fuss there. That could have easily gone the other way with Doyle around and basically across the track, not where he would want to be, but all cars going well there. Meanwhile, just up ahead, Eddie Beswick trying to fend off Brody Shepherd. He's actually got the bars done in the past couple of corners. Gets the job secured, I think, there at the penultimate turn, David, but... Now, it's again, slipstream down the front straight. That'll make a difference here. We'll see what Shepherd can do down to turn 1 this time by.
Yeah, no paved runoff anywhere. So if you get in a little bit hot to that final corner, you've got to roll out of the throttle. And I think that's what happened. And it's a sort of a chicane turn 1, 2. Either position can suit.
See there, Beswick defending the inside for turn 1. Gets a decent run through the corner. But, well, of course, Shepherd, more preferred entry through turn 1, opens turn 2. But he's not able to make anything of it this time by into turn 3. So... tuck back in line, try and prioritise the exit where possible. Look at them using every millimetre of the circuit they can. And for Beswick, just a little bit of the gravel for good measure there. Able to maintain good momentum. You can just even see here at this speed and, well, the gap that these two cars have, you can see that Shepherd's able to get that slipstream advantage, even though these guys are running around at about 120, 130 kilometres an hour through the corners, up to maybe 140 or so, 150 perhaps out of turn 4 there before you have to turn it in for turn 5. So we go back towards the front of the field, and Mostert continues to lead from Kostecki, who's gotten back into 2nd place there, David. So top 3 have restored their spots, and they're continuing to hold that breakaway from the next cars in line. Speaking of which, there goes wide for Beswick out of turn number 9. That's going to hurt him potentially. Not able to capitalise with Shepherd in P5, though, so all about the run here through turn 10, and that looks like a slightly suboptimal run for Shepherd, and that might just allow this next group to slowly close them in, but that wasn't too good from Caleb Hides. He's under pressure now for Sean McKenzie down to that penultimate corner. So middle of the track for Hides in the defensive. Can he hold a preferred line? There's Shepherd in that light blue colours there, and the orange of the Golf replica to finish it off. Not able to make it work this time, though. So again, going to have to set up a run here for turn 1, you'd think, as these cars build up to what should be their fastest speed on the circuit. Hides defends early, though, David. McKenzie, if he's going to get something done, he's going to have to go the long way around, and nothing of it this time by through 1 and 2. and not able to be close enough, I think, for turn 3. He's going to show the nose, though, but indeed keeps the nose out there, but not able to make anything stick this time by. So going to have to try and get something done later on the lap. Meanwhile, these 4 cars continue to sit together in this little battle pack for P number 6 down.
Peter Wilkinson went for a bit of a spin in the final sector there. He might have been running a little closer to the mid-pack, not immediately up with this battle. The change of direction at this far end of the circuit. Look at them struggle with it, and the curbs pretty high for cars like this, and the grass and the dirt and the track limits all very self-enforcing.
Speaking of cars that are in trouble, Wilhelm Leighton there at the back of shot in that white 99 Formula V there, coming off before turn 7 there. So little moment for him. Sees him drop down a couple of spots, but otherwise recovers it without too much of a fuss there. I don't think, in fact, a short off-track moment for him. He loses a couple of spots in it all, but otherwise continuing on as he was. Meanwhile, back to the lead. You can see here, Nick Percat is now still in third place, I should say, but he is now very much on his own, has lost the front 2 drivers by some margin here. So really, it looks like it's going to be a race between Mostert and Kostecki as to who gets the job done here in the Formula V tonight. 11 laps still to go, so it could be anyone's game at this stage, but, well, looking like it's going to be a 2-horse race unless something drastic happens in the next, 10.5 laps here, David.
One of the few places you can get a little ambitious with the track limits was the exit of turn 2 there, and you saw Jake Kostecki just trying to carry as much power and speed as possible off that corner, just trying to make sure he's close enough to Chaz through this part of the track until they get to those longer straights in the inverted commas newer section of Winton.
Oh, a little bit of a puff of smoke and a slow car there on the apex. I wonder who that might be. That would be Brody Shepard, pardon me, in the number 19 machine. So a little something happening there as we keep our eyes on 4th place driver Eddie Beswick there in the number 30. You can see Percat ahead. 2 seconds is the gap between them at the moment on track, and 2 seconds back to Shepard in P5. And, well, just under 4 seconds from Beswick back to Caleb Hides in P6. You see this group of cars continuing to hold position for now, and I think settling in here for this mid-phase of the race. To be sure now, David, their priority is to really just try and slipstream along together and not harass each other too much here, and open up the opportunity for some further places up the road when it comes to it. Through the final corner they come. You can see there, that's Sean Doyle at the back of the train there. Has a very nice run off that final corner to be in particular. All over the rear end of Cameron McLeod. Do we have anything down into turn 1 and 1? He does indeed show the nose, so turn 1 we go. He's alongside, and there comes a lunge on the brakes, and there's contact at the right rear corner of Doyle's car. McLeod into the grass, trying to hold on to that spot. Curious to see these cars able to hang on, but well, I think there it was late under brakes, but Doyle was able to lunge up there and get that spot on the inside line. We'll have to see whether that was a case of Doyle being a bit too deep on the corner and McLeod turning in a bit too much. A replay might be handy just to double check that one, but they're both on track and continuing on, so we can take a moment to have a look at the virtual racing school replay here, David.
Well, it's pretty obvious what he was going for. But I think just a little bit of speed, just a little further off the apex than McLeod was expecting. I don't think either of them did anything particularly malicious or,
Nothing too crazy there. I think that's a good way to put it. Certainly not ideal for either driver, but, well, Doyle certainly showed the nose, as you said there, before turn 1. Made the intention pretty clear. Was late under brakes to get it up the inside. Didn't drift too wide of the apex, so a little bit of both here and there. As you see McKenzie all the way to the gearbox of Hides there into the penultimate corner. So getting in as close as he can under brakes, but as he got the run off the final turn, the answer is Hides is going to run it all the way up into the dirt and track the outside wheels well outside that exit curb. And just see that how much it slows him down the front straight. Looks to defend from McKenzie, but here he comes up the inside with the slipstream as well for good measure. But Hides round the outside of turn 1 is able to brake late enough to hold that off. So again, he continues to defend the spot with a quite a solid amount of aggression there, but it does mean that they're losing out time to Brody Shepard ahead as they continue to scrap like this. They were sort of settled in for a while here, but I think Hyde's just pushing a little bit too hard there and continuing to defend the spot pretty aggressively at this stage. And Shepherd looking for every opportunity he can get through. It's brought Sean Doyle right back into the mix and give it half a lap or so. And Cameron McLeod there will be right back in against Doyle thinks about making it almost 3 wide through turn 7.
Yeah, they're not able to get around Hyde's, and Hyde's defensive lines through here has brought everyone back together like a family reunion. Oh, that's off.
And
Alex
more trouble
John.
for the Alex John Top Split TV entry. Number 77 saw him off on lap 1. I think that's just a case of running a little wide here, but we'll have a look at the virtual racing score replay to double check that one there. So through turn 5 he comes. And the double apex nature of the corner. Then flick back for turn 6 and, just grabs the curb and the car violently unsettles itself there, David. So despite the low power nature there, just getting that right rear corner unloaded is all it took there to send him around. And a puff of smoke for good measure there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just picked up that particular curb in an ugly kind of way. You don't think that'd match up with a downshift at the same time or anything. I think if you were taking a downshift there, it'd be a tiny bit later across the corner. But
we got 2x2 for P6 here. We have to. I think we better go to have a look at it because Caleb Hyde's a bit of a shocker through turns 1 and 2. Mackenzie not able to capitalise, but Cameron McLeod has a go at Sean Doyle while this is all going on. So they straighten back out into single file, but for a moment there, I was a bit worried we were going to have some Hail Mary Seds in the 2x2 box formation from these guys here. They continue as they were, but I reckon Mackenzie and Doyle in particular, they're getting pretty antsy. Hydes is not giving up that spot without a fight to the very last breath there, and McLeod, he's trying to make something work of it too, but the back of the train there, he can't really do much as these guys here are trying to set up their own moves for good measure. So everyone's moving around trying to attack and defend, and there's nowhere left to go once you're the 8th place car in the train.
yeah, McLeod and Doyle, a little bit of contact there, and they both get away with it. So magic dust between those two. Car-to-car contact 2 times that you think and you expect was going to be pretty ugly, and they dust themselves off and get away with it.
Once again out of turn number 10. Hydes mid-tracks the car, opens the corner though for turn 11, so just holding an early defensive line there to try and shut off any attempt at a move from Mackenzie. But again, 2 wheels in the dirt. Looks like though this time it hasn't hurt his speed too much as we're right on board with Cameron McLeod here. 9th place for him at the moment, but eyeing off that P6 now because, I continue the fight. The gap is up to 5.5 seconds between Hydes at the front of this train and Brody Shepherd next up the road in P5. It was as low as 2 seconds about no more than 3 laps ago at this stage, but the fighting here means that, they're very much settling themselves into this spot and this spot only for the rest of the race. Clearly, it's that McLeod, a huge amount of steering lock to really wrestle the car through turns 3 and 4 and use all of the track that he can, and then in through turn 5. It's actually quite a bit more gradual with the steering there by comparison. To see, that's the curve again! Caleb Hydes, his fallen victim, has taken Sean Doyle with him as well. And the T-bone. From, I believe that's Nathan. Yes, it's Nathan Verdi there, who's absolutely collected the 92 there as it was across the circuit. So, I just saw a touch of curb there for the 92, and we saw it with Alex John a lap ago, David, and it happens exactly again, unloading that right rear tyre under acceleration, and that's enough to send these cars around, it would seem.
The front right and the back right touching at the same time, and Vernie just didn't know.
Hydes there moving a fraction wouldn't have helped things, but did look like from that exterior angle at least, Vernie just not enough time to move the car offline from where he would have wanted, or up the inside or outside, whichever you so choose to make it through there. And nose straight into the side of the 92, who we can now see on the right side of that main straight camera has ejected back to the pits. So then there were 2 in the fight for P6, Sean Mackenzie and Cameron McLeod. Now the lone survivors of that fight, but McLeod had an absolutely massive wobble through turn 3. So I have to wonder if their cars are damaged. Sean Doyle is still out there, but he's now got Matthew Harriott behind for company, and Cameron Dance ahead, getting another spot out of it all for the number 21 machine, up 11 spots, our biggest mover in the race. Cam Dance, the only driver, pardon me, one of two drivers, sorry, did not set a qualifying time, instead opting to gamble on coming from the back through the field. So not likely to make up too many more spots, I would think, because from here it looks like everyone's starting to filter out into one by one. Indeed, you go all the way up towards the front of the field. The gaps are a second to 2 seconds or thereabouts. So, well, McLeod, 5 seconds a gap there to McLeod ahead. And Sean Doyle just 2 seconds off him behind. So, question is, what do these guys have left in their race? 5 laps to go at the line when they get there. And not long because there's our race leader, Chaz Mostert, continuing to lead as he has from the very start of this one there. And the gap now up to 2.7 seconds. And, well, it was a 2-horse race. I think it might be slowly ticking its way down towards a 1-horse race here, David.
Yeah, multiple Aussie car Formula V race wins for Chaz Mostert. And he had Jake Kostecki right with him in the early going of this race. They even had Nick Percat there, and then Percat dropped off once he was out of that 1 second slipstream, couldn't hang with them. Kostecki's dropped out of that 1 second slipstream, and ever since that's happened, Mostert's just pulled 2/10, 3/10 a lap on him. It's working out a nice little margin at the right time in the race. Same livery that he won those races into.
Is that so indeed? Well, unfortunately, yes, I'm not very well versed on Aussie cars Formula V history, so I'll have to take your word for it indeed then that the...
You're not going to doubt it, are you?
I don't think I'll doubt it,
will,
no.
right?
No, I suppose we actually jump on board with the cockpit camera. This Formula V, and you watch them here struggling for all the revs in the world, and he's actually going to grab 4th gear there, so... And then back to 3rd gear, and use that for the rest of the circuit here, so... The joys of the Formula V, if you're not familiar, of course, a very interesting gear stack ratio, which means that realistically, you're only racing with about 2 gears out of the 4 that are available on the gearbox. So,
yeah, 4 in reverse.
So certainly could be better geared, but now, well, it is what it is. It seems to work. Face car, so through turns 1 and 2 there, Mostert not using the curve through turn 1, but he's up on the curve for turn 2. You can see there Mostert's times the past 3 laps. Quite consistent indeed, no more than a 10th and a half. In fact, not even a 10th and a half, I should say, in terms of variance there. So, your race leader, and indeed, yes, well, as you say, they're defending or former series champion, race winner, showing why he's got the goods there in terms of the race pace. Second behind is not too far off, but half a second is all it's going to take in a car like this to drop away bit by bit.
Jake Kostecki sandwiched in the order at the moment by the teammates of Chaz Mostert and Nick Percat, so no team games there. Oh, and that's a good Walkinshaw throwback livery too for Nick Percat.
It indeed seems quite appropriate for the man himself there. Indeed, rocking plenty of the old school liveries or partners, sponsors. Oh dear, my head is an absolute scramble tonight. That's not going to do me any favours. We'll get back to those guys at the front, though, because looking here, this is the battle for P10. Matthew Harriott there at the front of these 2 cars, a 61 machine, up 3 spots from where he started tonight. But Nathan Verney on a charge, looking to try and make up some more after his incident there earlier on, well, being the unfortunate victim on the arrival of the incident, I should say, is the better way to put it. Gets a good run out of turn number 10 there, David, but he's forced to the outside. In fact, actually just rolls out of the throttle there to slot back in behind Harriott. So clearly opting to play the long game slipstream-wise, but both of them a little wide through turn 11. Harriott was extremely on the edge there, but Verney, good run through the final corner. Closing in here, should be able to move to the inside if he wants, or if he wants to gamble on the outside for turn 1 to get the inside at turn 2. Indeed, he's going to think about the outside here. Late on the brakes, he's not able to get alongside those, so he's going to have to try and just maximize the run here. And Harriott there, able to hold on to the spot. So another opportunity not able to be utilized there for Verney this time by, but that leaves him with 2 more chances at that first the first section of the circuit, I should say.
Yeah, Verney just trying to set up, trying to make sure he wrong foots Harriott, but it's not working just yet, and they are running out of laps to make a move like that. Look at him again, just trying to force Harriet to a shallow entry and then trying to take the wide sweeping lines and keep momentum.
Indeed, that's the critical word here. If in case you hadn't quite figured it out yet, momentum is so crucial in a low power car. As Berverni pushing the limits through turn number 9 there, David. Gets the left side tyres up on the exit curb, and that has hurt his momentum. Having to probably get out of the throttle there a touch to make sure he didn't go into the dirt. So through to 10 they go, and well, actually there on the exit, a little better than Harriet ahead, but we'll be able to close it in. Unfortunately, the other locked-on iRacing car, actually, no, pardon me, not locked-on iRacing, it's just got some similar colours there. Leon Williams in the 198. Small moment there at turn 9 for him. That's not quite one. It's actually, pardon me, yes, it is the locked-on car. So there we go. I did actually have that one ID'd correctly based on car colours. Unfortunately, my copy of the broadcast feed on my end seems to be a little pixelated at times, but I digress and we press on and continue to watch here. That is still Leon Williams there in that 198. Currently 17th place for him, David. Actually hasn't lost any spots, but nor has he gained any so far. Although he has just gained... No, pardon me. We've got one of the cars in the field having a small connection issue, which is causing them to blink a bit. So, best we return our eyes to the battle here for P number 10. Vernie, once again, opening the entry to turn 7 or really try and force something, but nothing coming of it this time by Harriet. He's close, but you can see here, trying to throw the car in with all the speed he can afford. Now here's the critical run, turn 9. That's a good line, though, versus Harriet ahead. Has he got anything for him at turn 10? Harriet's going to white line it on the inside. Mossett goes and takes the white flag while this is all happening. So stay with this here, I hope. Through turn 10 they go. Look at the line there for Harriet. That's sure going to compromise it, but is Vernie too close, David, perhaps to make a move stick here because he's not able to back off and then open and make use of the speed advantage from taking a more normal run through the corners?
I think it'll be either do it like this or try to get to the inside of turn 1.
For the final quarter, there he goes. Side by side for these two as they're going to take the white flag. And Vernie has to tuck back in to pick up the slipstream once again. So got one more option. 3 kilometers of racing and 12 corners to do it. What's he got left in the bag of that number 282 Formula V? Harriet deep into turn 1 trying to defend the spot. Oh, Vernie up and over the apex curb there. That was a little ambitious, I would have thought, but nothing, no dramas from it that particular time there. So through turn 3 they come. Harriet in a little bit deep. He's definitely throwing that car in as hard as he goes. Meanwhile, there's our race leader coming into turn 10 while we're looking at guys who are in the first sector of the circuit. Chaz Mossett uncontested once he got out of the slipstream range there from Jake Kostecki. 2 corners to go for the number 25. And, well, he's more or less got this wrapped up in the bag. Just needs to finish off the way he's been going all race long. And, well, 1 corner left. Looks like that's not too much to ask of our real-life race driver here.
No, absolutely stellar job there. Jake Kostecki did well to try to hold with him, but neither him nor Nick Percat could match that pace, and that consistency of pace, I think, is what you'd see if you looked at Mostett's lap sheet.
I think that's a good way to put it indeed. Meanwhile, coming into the final couple of corners there, that's Cameron Nance on the back of Cameron McLeod. They've been stuck like that ever since they got together. Meanwhile, one last time into the final couple of corners. Harriet to the inside at turn 11. Vernie's looking for the inside at turn 12 with the crisscross, but he's not able to get there. Is the drive off the final corner going to be enough, David? He's going to have to pull out early and commit. Up the run they go. He's got his front wheels halfway alongside, but Harriet's going to hold on across the line for P10. Unfortunately, it'll be P11 for Nathan Vernie there. A decent recovery effort, but nothing much of. As ever, look here, Cameron Heinrich up 5 spots. A solid drive for him. Meanwhile, just behind Peter Wilkinson trying to fend off Liam Banks through the last couple of corners. Look at Wilkinson's got that job done there, and they'll come across the line 15th and 16th.
Great thing about the speeds of Formula V is they were overlapping, they were side by side, but the actual time gap between Harriet and Vernie was a little larger than I was expecting, but still a very, very dramatic finish. And it was underneath, measured in hundredths of a second there.
Indeed, yeah. Well, we'll get to those race results for you in just a second, and we can all have a quick look at exactly what that looks like tonight. And so there it is, your race results from the Formula V event here at the Ozicar Festival of Speed. Chaz Mostyn taking the win comprehensively there, 4.7 seconds at the line ahead of Nick Percat, 8.4 back for P3 there tonight. Eddie Beswick, a quiet run for him in the end. P4 is where he starts and finished that race tonight. In fact, our top 6 unmoved from their grid positions. Brodie Shepherd and Sean McKenzie rounding out those positions in the end of it all. Cameron McLeod there, we saw fending off Cameron Dance for 7th and 8th respectively. Ahead of Sean Doyle there, attempting to hang on there, but 9th place for him. Not quite the night he would like there in the Formula V, but unfortunately, an entanglement. He's able to keep it on the track though and finish that race, which I think will be a good sign for him, I would think. And Matthew Harriott there, holding on to that top 10 spot, 41.7, the gap to the lead. And as we flick over the page to P11, you'll see that 41.85. So indeed, halfway alongside there, David, between 10th and 11th, but a gap being around a 10th of a second or just under in that case.
Yeah, less than a 10th. And then Vernie, John, Callum Heinrich, William Layton, Peter Wilkinson, and Liam Banks, Leon Williams, Sheepy. We saw him racing it up there in that part of the field with Tim Harris, Darren Lesieux. The car's finishing on the lead lap. Caleb Hyde's bitten by the nasty curb. Alex John managed to continue, but Caleb Hyde's unfortunately collected by the car that came through.
Yes, Nathan Verdi there, and Hyde's opting to call that one quits after that there. Well, David, we've got one person waiting for us in the commentary box, so time to have a quick chat with our race winner from the Formula V Festival of Speed, Chaz Mostyn. Congratulations, Chaz, and welcome back to the Ozicar Formula V series, or at least a Formula V event here, and a good race for you. And after about that first half of the race there, not much pressure on you there tonight to get the job done in the end.
Oh, I don't know about that. You always feel the pressure. You always got to try and build a gap enough in these Vs, and you've got to try and get to that 1.2, 1.3 seconds. But Jakey kept me pretty honest there for over half the stint, and yeah, it's always a lot of fun with the Aussie car. I thought there would have been a few more people on tonight. I mean, this is probably one of the top series, I think, for a bit of fun during the week. And what IRA does with this Aussie car series and all these races, it's so cool to be involved with.
Great to hear it indeed. Yeah, I mean, certainly had a chance to race in it myself. Unfortunately, here in the comms box means I can't get myself out on track personally. But indeed, it's a good little event here tonight in particular. And also, great to be able to bring guys from all over the racing world, both yourself. I mean, great to have the podium of you guys, along with Jake and Nick, racing with us tonight and showing us how it's done as it turns out. But certainly, yeah, I think with 20 guys out on track, hopefully looks like it's a good start for the evening. We've still got the Formula 3s to come up next as well. And then we've also got, as part of the Greater Festival of Speed, a Formula 1 Grand Prix later on Sunday as well for good measure. So hopefully this is a good start and a sign of things to come.
Yeah, we'll jump into the F4s in the next race, and Jakey and Nick are probably the ones to beat in that, I reckon. I'm pretty comfortable in the Vs, but the F4 I've still got a bit of work to do, so I'll be watching out for those guys. But they'll talk in the SimSpeed stuff too. If you guys could send them the invite, they'll be happy to come over and have a chat.
If we can manage that, indeed. Well, I'll have to see if we can try and find them. If not, I might give Ira a poke and see if Ira can help us out there and maybe get things along there. But yeah, I guess talking about there, going back to your race here just now, Chaz, I mean, just saying, yeah, that first half of the race, you had to sort of work for it, but it looks like you had the best consistency out there in the end of it all. And you said there getting the toe eventually broken is the key to it all. I guess when it comes to a car where the slipstream is so important and consistency is going to be super important. Is there any sort of special tricks you have to employ, or is it just about ensuring you're hitting your marks every single time? Which I guess, in saying that, is something you'd like to be doing in just about any car, anytime, any place.
Yeah, I think for me the Vs are like a pretty tricky car, but they don't really reward too hard of driving. You've kind of got to underbrake the car a little bit and make sure you keep the flow up, because they're such a low horsepower car. They're quite tricky to get the speed out of. But once you get your head around it and then you actually put a little bit less effort in, the lap times just come quicker and quicker. So tonight, I mean, I enjoyed my race with Jake and Nick. I know Cameron Dance, he didn't qualify, and we have a great ding dong battle in these things. So let's hope that these fields can get back to the 30, 40 plus, and we'll see if me and Nick and Jake can keep jumping in these.
Well, it'd be great to have you along when we see these cars back I'm sure, given that they've been fairly successful for the Ozicar brand, that they'll be back at some point in the future. And well, indeed, by the sound of things, that would be great to have you guys back along as well when the time comes. Well, okay, there you go. Ira has indeed posted an invite in the Festival of Speed section of the Ozicar Discord, so hopefully we can see Nick and Jake along if they spot that. Otherwise, I guess there's the suggestion for them to come and join us and have a chat. It'd be great to chat to them about their thoughts on the race day tonight. But yeah, before we let you go, Chaz, a chance to sort of say thanks to anyone you want to say in the background, partners, sponsors, I guess anyone. Yeah, the floor's yours.
I don't really have too many sim sponsors, but I'd just like to thank Jake and Nick for coming out and jumping out on tonight. I mean, it's always a lot of fun. So, and all the other competitors for making it too. So, and obviously Ira as well. He put so much effort in the background, and it's a good, clean series. And I just encourage more people to get involved because it's hard to come by.
Chaz, we've seen Ira talking about us. Just quickly bring us up to speed on the No Social Hate campaign.
Oh yeah, it's been around a little while now. I mean, trying to remember, probably about a bit over 12 months ago, another supercar peer of mine or friend was copying it quite bad online, and a lot of race car drivers and athletes around the world, and no doubt just general people in any racing or just in the public forum can be the subject to social hate from people that you don't even know. And I'm just dead against it. If you don't have something that you can't say to someone's face, and I just don't think you should post it at all. So yeah, I've started a little hashtag called No Social Hate and get people behind it. You can make the pledge as well. Follow those. I think it's got an Instagram page and also a website now as well. So just look up that and get amongst it and just try and spread the word. Let's kill social hate.
Thanks.
That there, race winner Chaz Mostert in the Formula Vs. And hopefully we get a chance to speak to the other guys who got the podium there in race
Always
one.
a bit of pressure to beat your new teammate, though, I'm sure. I mean, he seemed happy to have the measure of Jake Kostecki, but deep down, beating Percat, I'm sure means something too.
Well,
I'm a little tongue in cheek. I'm a little tongue in cheek there.
Oh, are you? Are you really?
We know all three of them, and everyone on Ozicar, but especially drivers who've risen to the heights of the gentleman who made our podium. It can be the nicest blokes, and we've had the opportunity to chat with Chaz a couple times. Very nice fella, but there is a very, very serious competitive undercurrent.
It's no surprise there, based on what I've seen of his success and adventures out on track. Well, I think what we'll do now is we'll take a quick break here as we get ready to cover the second of our two races tonight for the Festival of Speed, as Chaz brought to our attention there. The Formula 4s at Phillip Island up next, or the IRO4, to be precise. And, they're in the middle of practice, but we'll take a quick break here, get ourselves ready to go for that one there. So stay tuned, we'll be back with you in just a moment's time.
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But Getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRacing roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got everything else. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Section's very close. These guys want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
Welcome back to SimSpeed TV here on a Thursday night with something a little different than what we usually have here. The Ozicar Festival of Speed here tonight with a special event from the Ozicar crew. Well, we've had our first race of two tonight, the Formula V at Winton Motor Raceway, as you can see there in the background. But it's time for a different vehicle and a different track. The iRacing Formula IR04 is up next, and we're heading to Phillip Island Circuit, one of the other classic Australian venues on the iRacing service. My name, Daniel Yeaman, here with David Haynes alongside me in the commentary box, and Scott Fontaine on production. And before we get into the Formula IR04, I think it's time we actually have a chat with the man behind Ozicar himself, Ira Felberg, joining us in the commentary box. Ira, thanks for joining us here tonight, and also thanks for putting on the Festival of Speed. I guess now is probably a good time, more than ever, to, I guess, explain a little bit more about the Festival of Speed, and sort of explain to everyone here, I guess, what the event's about, and where it's the inspiration came for, perhaps, as a starter.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, it was just an idea basically to put on something fun, a bit different. I like the idea of the Formula Ford Festival in UK. Used to follow that back when Ingle and all those guys were driving. So yeah, and obviously we got some laps to give away in a Formula Ford. That was part of the reason as well why I wanted to do something like this. Was kind of sim racing's cool, but I feel like we need to be doing more to get people into real cars. So yeah, that was kind of the motivation. And then Chaz's no social hate campaign kind of struck a chord with me. So yeah, I just thought it was a good opportunity to try and hook all those things up. And so far the V race was a bit spread out, but it was good racing. So yeah, I look forward to seeing this race. It should be a lot quicker with the draft and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying certainly whilst it's spread out a little bit there in the Formula Vs, we definitely had quite a few battle packs to keep our eyes on and a good bit of racing from start to finish in the middle of the group there. And while I think, yeah, the slipstream there maybe not as important, certainly we're going to a faster track, faster car. I think we're certainly putting together a good mix of ingredients to set up a close and competitive race here, all going well for these guys in this second race tonight. But well, speaking of getting guys into a real Formula 4 car, I guess probably time to have a chat about that one, or at least get that that prize draw system sort of underway here tonight. So we've got the names of the guys you have got down for the draw here, and just clarify, there we go. So Mr. Haynes has got a number generator ready to go. So that's good to hear and see, at least on my end at least. So Hainesy, if you maybe want to pipe up here, and I think I'll let you take the lead on this one here, since you've got
absolutely. So
yourself ready to roll there.
Ira, just real quick, tell us about the prize that we are giving away.
So yeah, basically a few laps in a real Formula Ford around Sydney Motorsport Park. It's just can't remember actually. It's only about 3 or 5 laps, but you can update to 10 on the day for about $100 more. Which yeah, it was just, I've driven Formula Fords before, and they're just, yeah. The cool thing about them is nothing against those V8 drive days, but I don't know, there's something about a single seat cockpit that just appeals to me a lot more than having someone sitting next to me, and they grip up pretty good, similar to a kart. So yeah, it's whoever gets that is going to have some fun, that's for sure.
So you've given me the list of 17 names, which is everyone who competed in the Formula V race we just saw, minus our pros, our ringers who completed the podium there. I think Chaz Mostert, Nick Percat, and Jake Kostecki might find a Formula Ford experience a little bit of a downgrade from their regular ride. I've got random number generator 1 to 17 here. I click generate, and it has given me 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Congratulations, Peter Wilkinson, then, who is the 12th driver in the list you've given me, Ira Felberg, and he will be doing a Formula Ford drive experience at Sydney Motorsports Park then, I guess.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked Wilco got that.
Yeah, so it'd be a bit of a little trip for the Queenslander, but we know how passionate he is about motorsports and racing, and a long time, I think, Aussie car competitor there as well with his team Locked On iRacing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that. So we got one more to give away after the F4 race, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, I think maybe we should after the race. So Peter is here tonight racing in the F4 as well. So I think what we should do is maybe drag Peter in after the this race here tonight. What do we say? And we can let him know the news at that point if he hasn't figured it out already and got it on in the background of the broadcast. Excellent. So we'll do that then after we talk to the race winners and draw the prize after the Formula 4 here. So big thanks to you, Ira, for putting on the event and helping make that prize possible for Wilco there for that Formula V race. So time to do it all again, but here at Phillip Island in the Formula 4s.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll duck back off to race control, but yeah, thanks for everybody, and yeah, to the guys who stepped aside tonight so that we could put this on. I appreciate that. To the Ozpass guys, yeah. Cheers.
There you go, Ira Felberg. Thanks for having a chat with us, and we look forward to talking to you after this second race here in about, I'd say, 20 odd minutes. So there we are. Well done to Peter Wilkinson there. And indeed, yeah, on behalf of everyone at SimSpeed, apologies to the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series crew. Again, certainly we're hoping to have 2 broadcasts up simultaneously tonight. And unfortunately, last minute issues mean we weren't able to make that a possibility. So big thanks to the team there who make that series possible for their understanding. And they weren't able to get both broadcasts done together and to allow the Festival of Speed here to be broadcast as well. So, minute and a half on the clock here in qualifying. Unfortunately, means we've missed most of the fun and games, but...
Cam Dan's still no qualifying time. He's
so
playing this on hard mode.
He's decided to go from the back of the field. But, surprise, surprise, look whose name has made it to the top of the timing charts. He said that to watch out for his other companions. And certainly his other companions are in good positions in this field tonight. But Chaz Mossett has put himself at the top of the timing tower for the second race in a row here, so he certainly didn't rate his chances too highly, but either that's a man who's extremely humble or has been keeping something a little bit hidden away in this second race here as we get ready to grid up. Still 50 seconds on the clock for qualifying, so these guys will have a little bit longer to finish their laps off at this stage, but...
I'm starting a rumour. Chaz Mossett to S5000. No one else is saying it. No factual basis. I'm starting a rumour.
Well, that's not a bad idea, I suppose. And, well, that would mean that it would be it'd be an interesting side move there, certainly going to the S5000 machine. And similar, obviously, the big V8 engine, just to add a bit of wings to it. Well, not too much downforce from those cars, if people are to be believed. As we have a look here at one of the couple of drivers dealt in circuit, as Liam Banks there in the number 14 machine. He's completed his 4 laps of qualifying, David, but looks like he's going to get in as much extra time on circuit as he can here. As there flies the checkered flag, and a lone qualifying session means we will go straight to the grid. No time to spare there. So let's have a run through those names here as they start gridding up for this second race tonight. And yep, say it once, say it again. Pardon me, just click the mute button there in the middle of it all. Chaz Mossett gets himself 2 from 2 for pole position here, so clearly has got something figured out in these open wheelers tonight. Nick Percat will share that front row with him, so another all-pro lockout up front, but it's not going to be a third pro at the very front of the field. Caleb Hydes gets himself up into P3 for this one, with David Baz alongside in P4. Eddie Beswick, another solid starting spot for him. It's P5 in the number 17. And Alex John jumps up to P6 alongside him to start this one tonight. David, at a P7, it'll be Stuart Crawford. And then Jake Kostecki, there's our third pro driver, back in 8th place. A little bit of work for the number 15 there tonight, but slipstream will be fairly advantageous. You would think so. Brodie Shepherd, as we continue on, starting out of P9, has Liam Banks alongside him out of P10. And then it's going to be Cameron McLeod and Sean Doyle rounding out our first 12 cars. A lot of names grouped together, just like we saw in the Formula Vs here, David.
Yep. Nathan Verney, Scott Harvey, Sean McKenzie, and Matthew Harriott. Those friends sharing row 8 together there. And Tom Hunt, John Snell on row 9. Qualifying times there at about 90 seconds. Last drivers with qualifying times. Peter Wilkinson, he's already got his mind on Formula Fords, I'm sure, and William Layton and Dance and Darren Lesueur. No qualifying times there, and Ira Felberg, of course, told us he's going to be up in race control, so they're almost ready to go. It'll be a standing start, and I am imagining some very strong slipstreaming down the pit straight here at Phillip Island. You get that in any class of cars, but think about these F4 cars. It's going to be pretty nuts if they can avoid banging wheels.
Yep, modest power, wings and slicks. This is going to be a high-speed ride around this circuit here as the timer runs out, so time to get these cars going in just a moment's time. 15 laps on the board. Going to take us about the same time we saw around Winston in the Formula Vs, and they're underway here in the second at the Festival of Speed. That's a stall at the back of the field. Oh no, trouble for someone, and their car is not going anywhere.
Harriet.
Question is Matthew Harriet's car. Right rear is a no bueno. Unfortunately, he is going to have to end his race here on lap 1 as the front of the field makes its way through turn 1 here, Dave. And look at them side by side, leaning on each other through turns 1 and 2, but single file right up front. Mostert now actually leads Caleb Hydes, who's got the jump on Nick Percat here right off the get-go, and Eddie Beswick also making a move on David Baz here, so bit of a shuffling here at the front of the pack in this opening lap.
Drivers on the pole sitters side of the grid all look like they got away pretty well, and the drivers on the left-hand side of the grid lighting them up. So David Baz and Nick Percat, who started in the even-numbered grid spots, both going backwards.
Ooh. A little bit of side-to-side contact there between Jake Kostecki and Liam Banks, I think. Looks like nothing too major, but got the 14 a little unsettled on the way into Siberia there, so has to take a moment there to recover. He's got Sean Doyle and Cam Dance going at it side by side behind him. Dance up the inside of Doyle there. Dance up 9 spots inside 3/4 of a lap. So has certainly enabled hard mode, as you said there, David, at the start of this one, but putting it to good use here at the start of this one. Meanwhile, front of the field, Percat's back past Hydes for P2, and Eddie Beswick is now on the bumper of the number 92 car as they come round the final corner to end lap number 1 here. 15 on the board. We will certainly get through them all unless we need to throw a safety car for
2x2.
the mother of all disasters. And there's another 2x2 formation down the front stretch. Crawford and Shepherd with McLeod and Kostecki behind as they make their way down to turn number 1 again. Looks like they're going to be able to maintain the formation through turn 1. Oh, goodness me. Second row of those guys. Oh, almost forced off the circuit. That's going to send another car flying up there. Kostecki and McLeod going at it there, pardon me. McLeod there. Now, you should see on my end, his car's all black, but there on broadcast, he's actually running Oscar Piastri replica paint job there on his machine. So,
I've got the Prema Racing on my end too, so a good tribute to some Aussies in open wheel feeder series. Big braking zone there.
I just think Cam Dance go for an absolute dive bomb on Liam Banks to steal P11 at Honda Hairpin. I think I did. Because all of a sudden, there you go, Dance the number 23, and he's got the blue-silver camo on tonight in that machine. I got that correct. There you go, cheat. So yes, I got that. I can indeed describe his paint job correctly. So, yay me! My brain, unfortunately, is an adult mess of recovering from a cold. Thankfully, it's not COVID, but certainly not been ideal. He's up the inside of McLeod. He goes at MG, David. And, well, McLeod's going to hang it around the inside, though, for the penultimate turn. So, well, you have to try again, Cam. And, actually, no, I can't say Cam because they're both Cameron. So, Dance, then. Have another go at it. Down the front straight this time in the turn 1. He's going to go for the outside if he wants to make this work. But he's going to pick up the slipstream for the guys ahead as they start weaving their way down the front stretch. So if he can get a little bit further alongside here, David, this will help. But going to be a gamble through turn 1, maybe, as we stay on board with Dance. Not able to stay alongside. So McLeod goes to cover off the inside at turn number 1. And he's going to have to try again with, I think, a bit of a lunge under brakes at Honda if last lap is anything to go by.
How's the rev limiter down the end of the pit straight too, as they sort of are still pack racing. There isn't a second to find as a gap anywhere between your leader, Chaz Mostert, and down to 13th place with Doyle here. Oh, and that's contact.
That spin. Oh, incredible. Everyone else basically dodges that, but yeah, Alex John.
He's got big damage down the right-hand side there, front and rear wheels. Not even.
Oh, 3 wide of the exit Siberia as well. Yikes. Cameron Dance threads the needle as McLeod and Kostecki ahead of him got together. And oh my goodness me, it's going off here. It's just lap 3 of 15. I know it's a sprint race, and it's all for the pride and the glory, fellas, but they're not leaving anything to chance here. As you see, that's Liam Banks going at it with Sean Doyle through MG, and Stuart Crawford out into the grass on the outside. I think, unfortunately, that was entirely his own doing, so going to have to take the elder, and Kostecki there peels his car into the pit lane, so the other car there caught up in the Honda hairpin skirmish. Brings his car down onto the pits to try and fix that one up and get back out racing. So unfortunately, another victim to not make it out on track. As meanwhile, McLeod continues to hang on, but that's Sean Doyle in the Flammobile. Has gotten round Cameron Dance down the front stretch, but Dance is going to try and hold him tight through turn 2. Meanwhile, Doyle tries to track out wide. Dance in the marbles. He's going to lose the spot now and have to tuck back in and reset for Honda hairpin. He's now got Scott Harvey on the rear end. Meanwhile, Nathan Verney looks a little wide there on the exit of turn 2 at the Southern Loop. Down to Honda we go. Late cutback from Dance. The door's open, though, from Doyle. Can he get the move done? The answer is no, so Doyle hangs on ahead of Dance and, well, splits the two Camerons for a time being here. So having to do a bit of wheel work here as the 23. Still up 12 spots from his starting position. But having to work at every single position he wants to get from here on out. And of course, what that means is the next group of cars up ahead have got a relatively healthy 3.5 second gap from McLeod up to Brodie Shepherd next in line in P6. We have a look at that leading pack here, David, right now.
Yeah, Mostert very, very briefly had a second to Nick Percat, but again, that is such a powerful slipstream up the top of 6th gear, approaching the rev limiter. The thing for Percat is he can't stay in the slipstream of Chaz Mostert down the pit straight because he's got to worry about Beswick, Hydes, and Baz, who are all there. And the battle for second might just let Mostert off the hook if they're not careful.
Yeah, so I wonder if Beswick's willing to play the long game here. It's up 2 spots from where he started this one, and I think based on that run through turn 1 and 2, is probably willing to let Percat focus on trying to close the gap down to Mostert, and indeed gone from 3/4 of a second down to under half a second here under brakes at Honda. So, yeah, he's certainly willing to play that longer game here. So, get Mostert back in to the lead pack all by, well, don't let him get away, I should say.
Oh, drama at Honda.
Oh, yeah, I see Scott Harvey has just moved down the order, and oh dear, that's several cars all entangled. McLeod and Banks in particular caught up in that. Oh dear, so Virtual Race Score Replay is going to have to chart this one out for us, David. So here we go. McLeod was leading the train. As we see there, Sean Doyle next in line. What happens here to Honda? Oh, McLeod slow on the apex, gets Cameron Dance entangled. Liam Banks there entangled on the exit there as he was slow. And then several more issues at Scott Harvey off track, with Sean Doyle off track as well. So on board with Dance here, and yeah, just McLeod locks the inside front, goes slow, and well, that front nose is absolutely obliterated for Dance. And then up to Siberia they came, and oh dear, Sean Doyle ahead just loops the rear end all by himself after dodging the worst of it. So that's unfortunately gone from bad to worse for those guys there. And, well, that great little battle pack had all that potential, unfortunately, has fizzled out. Let's go back to live pictures, David. And, well, our new battle pack is this top 4 group with the other guys just towards the back of the picture there, trying to hang on or get themselves into frame.
They've reeled him back in. The gap to Chaz Mostert's evaporated. It's back to a car length for all of your top 4. Your top 5, if David Baz can bridge the gap to this as well. So this time down the pit straight is going to be interesting. But they're all well aware, 15-lap race, and we're not to the halfway point of it yet. So the way they've raced so far, there's got to be one more notch on the crazy dial for the last 2 or 3 laps, being Chaz Moster.
Yeah, well, might not be the crazy we were thinking it would be, but certainly locking an inside tyre in MG, that might just sort of set things up there. Percat, I think, backing it off a little fraction here to set himself up for the run. Sort of bottles Beswick, but at the same time, they've actually almost broken away from Hydes there by half a second or so. But down the front straight we come. Drag race between Mostert and Percat. Gap at the line was 0.017. Percat has a nose ahead into turn number 1. Was that Beswick giving a little of a bump draft to the open wheeler? Ambitious to say the least. As down into turn 2 they come. Percat takes the race lead, and finally we get ourselves a new race leader. See is how long can he hang on to it though, because Mostert's score is leading the race. All the opening 6 laps. Can Percat hang on to steal a lap lead, off of that number 20 Lego machine there?
Beswick gets boxed in a little bit there. So I think Hyde's not quite going to have a go at him. Percat positioning it just right for that big braking zone at Honda to still hold on to this race, and pinching front brakes here, there, and everywhere. Down into, over Lukey Heights into MG, you can be forgiven the way the road falls away there. Every car, every driver, so easy to pinch the inside front. But some of these other places that I think it's more worrying for the tyre life and the tyre heat. it's kind of a long race for F4 standards.
Well, it's certainly well, still would feel like a roughly a sprint type affair, you would think. And, well, you see here, look at this lovely trackside cameras. They come out of MG there through the penultimate turn. No one really pushing the limits there that time by. And, well, down the front straight we go once again. It is now certainly top 5 in the mix. David Baz has caught the train, so across the line they come. Mostert pulls out to the outside of turn 1 as they come down the front stretch. He gets the lead back again. Beswick up the inside. I don't know if Percat's just that slow because of the overspeed from the draft, or if that was trying to set up something tactical there from Percat. He's going to try and hang on to P2 as Beswick tries to hook it around the outside. Hyde's going to have a chance, you'd think, here at P3, but no, he's not. Meanwhile, oh, trouble at the back of the shot. Who has found the fence? Possibly, yeah, indeed. Oh, dear. Kostecki already a lap down, unfortunately, on those guys. And yeah, the car just got loose and absolutely sent itself up and over the track edge and destination tyre bundle with a broken right front for good measure.
Going for an Antarctic tour, maybe even, unfortunately. Also some pretty aggressive lane chops here in the top 5. Beswick trying to jump back in line earlier there. Hyde saw exactly a car width between Beswick and Baz, and he chopped back in there. Didn't want to get left hung out to dry, and that is your super speedway style racing at Phillip Island in these F4s. The slipstream is that powerful.
And look at that there. They're already in 6th gear, and we're barely halfway down the front straightaway.
Absolutely flat out through the final corner, and that makes it almost one long straight from MG. They're near enough to flat through turn 1 here as well, and that makes half of the damn track one full throttle straight line. Now,
And
it's
look
not
at
a
that.
straight line, but it behaves like it, and they're behaving like that's a corner at Southern Loop as they go over the crest.
Chaz Mostert was leading the race at the start-finish line ahead of Percat, but never mind that because Percat gets the lead back and Beswick slots himself up into P2. Defending now up from Mostert, you'd think, but Mostert sees the inside and goes for it. And there's contact, unfortunately. There we go. Mostert looking for the inside of Beswick at Honda, and both drivers come off the worst. And so once again, our battle packs get thinned out with contact in these hairpin turns. We have a look at it again on the virtual race score replay. David on board with Mostert here. Was P3 out of the Southern Loop and thinks about the inside of Beswick, who's thinking of the inside of Percat. Goes for it up the inside. I don't think he was quite there. As it turns out, Beswick tries to shut him out, but, well, at that point, they're both committed, and the damage is well and truly done at that stage.
Yeah, you can see he's got a great run. The inside lane is open, and he thinks, I will, and then he thinks, no, I won't. And then he breaks it pretty deep and thinks, maybe I will. But then the overlap is just tiny enough that Mostert doesn't really deserve the corner, but still makes a little bit of contact, and that was the finish of the race. My goodness, it'd be close. Hyde's now to the lead, and then there were 3.
Yep, and the lead, it whittles down 0.012, the gap at the line. Percat had it by a whisker, but indeed, Hydes gets the job done through turn 1 and seals a deal for turn 2 at least. But, well, on the flip side, coming out of Southern Loop, a little bit of dirt there for Hydes. A bit more engine power in these cars, unlike the Formula Vs we saw earlier, but certainly vulnerable to making a mistake like that around a slipstream track like this. Has to fend the inside, and oh, he's open on the hairpin up massively. Percat's side by side to the apex of the exit of the corner. We'll have to come back to that battle for P number 9 there. My apologies to Crawford and Verney, who we just saw on screen. Meanwhile, because the top 3 are going at it, and David Baz nearly just took off the rear end of Percat's car through Siberia, David.
These cars look super quick and planted through the fast corners. They're a short wheelbase and a little flighty across the crest of the hills here at Lukey Heights and Southern Loop, and also into some of the slower corners as well.
Up the inside goes Percat at MG, so he wants to hang on to another lap led for him here in the number 6. Has to try and go a long way around now at MG. Heights is going to try and defend it to the inside, and they've got lap traffic to deal with here down the front stretch. So can Caleb Hydes get the little bit of slipstream he needs to maintain the race lead across the line? David Baz is hooking into the slipstream of Percat down the stretch. Oh, they move around as the traffic comes by. Jeez, that was a nail biter for half a second. Perkats now commits to the inside of turn 1. Hides turns down, but thankfully not enough to cause problems. He just hangs on to the lead there through turn 2, opting for the narrow line. Oh, no, again for the Kites, and oh, he clips the traffic. Backs it up as soon as he can, but oh, trouble again for the 92. And not the kind of mistake I would have thought to see out of his hands, but unfortunately there, that was the traffic of Wilhelm Leighton there, unfortunately getting clipped, or clipping, I should say, the spinning 92 machine. So, oh, spin on the exit of Honda hairpin as well. It's all going off this lap, David.
Brody Shepherd losing out as well. So he's down the inside trying to break super deep in a southern loop there for Hides, and it's just too much. That's how the rear steps out. He knows he's got Perkat to his right-hand side. He knows Perkat's got a little more speed, and he thinks, I can still take the inside here, but just breaks that in too deep. Maybe gets a little too much of the curb there as well. And then you're in such a vulnerable place. Grabs, reverse, but he's already been clipped at that point. And then it was Brody Shepherd who went for a spin somewhere. He was looking like a top 5.
Yeah, exit of Honda hairpin. As we say on the replay here, this is the number 4 car of Shepherd. And yeah, a very interesting one there. And then, oh, watch out for traffic. Flick, spin it back onto the grass. And after that little moment there, get back on his way. So we better go back to live pictures, I think, because there's now a fight for what is P5 still in this race. Hides having recovered there. Liam Banks and Scott Harvey, though, want at it. And here comes Brody Shepherd. Going to make it a 4-way scrap for the position here. Out of nowhere at the back of the pack. Comes in looking for the move. And, well, actually gets a spot there off of Scott Harvey there, David. So, job successful. But they were knifing around in the front straight, looking to stay in the draft as late as possible and then move as decisively as possible for good measure.
Yeah, so Hides and Shepherd suddenly back in this, trying to still salvage that top 5. Nothing for your leaders, nothing to separate third place. So it's no longer one giant train up front, but everywhere you look, there's the powerful slipstream and these easy to get most, difficult to get all of the performance F4 cars, keeping everyone together in some pretty interesting battles.
Indeed, they are. Well, it's 2 cars now for the race lead between Perkat and Baz, but it's also 2 cars for P3 with Beswick and Mostert. So got ourselves certainly still grouped up towards the front, just certainly a little bit smaller than it was.
Lead. Do you start counting backwards on the laps like you do for the Daytona road course or some of those other very, very powerful slipstream tracks where you're not going to be able to keep someone behind you?
Well, I feel like, David, we're seeing so far that if you've got the lead out of MG, even with the slipstream down the front stretch, there hasn't been... I don't think I've seen many people actually successfully pull off a move before the start-finish line, even with the tow. So, in my opinion, it would seem at this stage, being the leader off of MG, even if you've got the car completely behind you getting slipstream, will be the place to be. You should be able to hang on just. As unfortunately there in the background of shot, Liam Banks is around and we're deep in the kitty litter at turn 2, David. Looks to be trying to get his car going once again, but taking his time to make sure nothing happens of it. Meanwhile, Brody Shepherd gets up the inside of Scott Harvey there. So, meanwhile, race lead is side by side. Perkat ahead going into Lukey Heights. He's going to have to go the long way around and then make it stick as we've got a lapped car on the inside of MG and not... Oh, watch out, traffic incoming. Oh boy, who was that? It's Cameron McLeod, unfortunately having an absolute shock of this race. So there we are, race lead of 2. They're going to have 2 at the line here, David. So I think here's another exercise in it, but Baz is close. The question is this the dress rehearsal? You would think so. Down the straight we go. Can Baz get the lead before the line? The answer is no, not again. Even though he was that close. 0.041 at the line. Perkat holds on, leading out of the final turn.
Yeah, 2 to go, and again, I just don't know who you want to be, where you want to be in this point of the race. I still think you could come from second on the final lap to win if you get a good drive out of MG and manage to get to the inside of the final corner and have that shorter run to the line. The guy in front is not going to want to let you do that. Percat's been around a while.
Long enough to know how to race it hard and fast. Baz up the inside at Honda Hairpin. Percat, though, trying to get back the inside for Siberia this time around. And indeed, they're able to give each other just enough space to make that work out for them. So up to the hay shed we go. Still side by side for the race lead. Percat, though, has to slot in behind once we do arrive at the hay shed proper. But he looks to the outside for Lukey to get that apex at MG again. Baz is not going to have any of that this time around, though. So covers that off, though. Percat late at Lukey Heights gets the apex at MG. So there's the pass once again for the race lead. One would think that's exactly what's going to be needed to be done here. As we see just in behind, Mostert has gotten past Beswick for P3. And, well, they're only 2 seconds back off the race lead. So if these two here scrap as we come to the white flag this time by, can Baz get past? He tries, he can't quite. Percat just covers him off in time. So white flag is waved. These guys have got 1 circuit left to go, and Baz is trying to throw everything at Nick Percat here.
Well, racing like they were coming to the final lap. They are. It's all bets off. Cat trying to muscle to hold on, and as they battle like that, it does let drivers like Beswick and Mostert maybe just think there's a hope to get back there. Hides maybe a little damage to the rear of his car, still trying to hold off Brody Shepherd and Scott Harvey.
And he was able to hang on just through turn 2 there. I thought for a second maybe the job we done. Meanwhile, Beswick back up the inside and Mostert reclaims P3 for now. But that little scrap there has cost them 0.3 of a second, David. So I think they might have just consolidated their position in terms of what they're fighting for. And certainly it was going to be a bit of a stretch with 1 lap to go to make it back for the front of the field. But Percat leads Baz up to Lukey Heights for the final time. Meanwhile, Mostert there desperately looking for the inside on Beswick, but Beswick holds on this time by. Mostert's going to have to do the miracle run. Baz is wide at MG. That should seal the deal for Percat. Here comes Mostert, though, trying to go the outside of Beswick through the final couple of turns. He's on the gearbox, looking for the inside before the final corner. Has he got the overlap to make the move stick? He's there. And indeed, he's going to get the drag race to the start-finish line between those two. Percat's going to win the race and take the checkered flag. Mostert's going to hang on, is he? There's absolutely nothing in it, but he does. P3 to the Mostert.
0.006 of a second there.
And then obligatory obliteration as a...
Don't worry, it's a Lego car. You can put it back together.
Indeed, but Cameron McLeod in his Premier Racing team livery machine, unfortunately, that won't last him all too much longer. To see the rest of the field come across the line here. Now, I believe that... No, that's one of the other locked-on racing cars. It'll be Nathan Verney. My apologies there. As he makes his way around turn 2, having finished up that race there in position number 10. And let's have a look here. We'll get to the results in a second and have a quick chat through them. In a moment's time, at least. See here, last couple of drivers now across the line means we can look at those results. Well, indeed, yep, there they are. So Nick Percat gets the race win there tonight. 0.3 clear of David Baz in the end. Unfortunately, Baz a little too deep into into MG, and that unfortunately would do it for him. So second place is his. Chaz Mostert hanging on there by, well, pardon me, not hanging on, getting back P3 there at the dying breath. Nothing in it across the line. Eddie Beswick has to settle for 4th place there. Caleb Hides recovers to 5th place with Brody Shepherd just not even 0.2 back in P6. Just ahead of Scott Harvey as well there. So very close between those group of cars. Great scrap once they had to reset and go again for them. And then Stuart Crawford there in P8 had a Sean McKenzie in P9 who barely holds out Nathan Verney for that for 10th place in the end. So there you go. Great scraps up and down the field here tonight.
No doubt. There's Tom Hunt in 11. Cam Dance charged his way from the back of the field, made up big positions, but it was pretty brutal. Take no prisoners racing out there, and he ended up falling back a little bit with the end result of 12th. It's actually the highest placed car to have been through the pit lane in that one. Then it's John Snell. Sean Doyle also had to pit for some repairs. Darren Lesueur and Peter Wilkinson, last cars on the lead lap. I'm sure Peter Wilkinson will be able to dry his tears about 16th, because he's the winner of the first draw. The second draw still to come, and then it's 1 lap down for Liam Banks and Matthew Harriott, 2 down for Cam McLeod and Wilhelm Leighton. And Jake Kostecki, unfortunately, 8 laps short after a great performance in the V. In the Formula 4, things didn't quite go his way, and the same can be said for Alex John too.
Yeah, unfortunately, not quite the night those guys would have wanted, but sometimes cookie crumbles are not the way that you like. So, unfortunately, a bit of a tough love story for those guys there at the back of the field. Well, unfortunately, David, we're not joined by any of our podium getters here tonight, but we do have 4th place driver Eddie Beswick.
6,000 short of the podium. Come on.
And given he was, yeah, indeed, given he was only 6,000 short of a podium, I think fair enough to have a chat to Eddie there after that one. So bad luck there, Eddie, to miss out on the podium in that F4 car, but certainly almost had it there, fighting Chaz all the way to the bitter end there around the final turn.
Yeah, it was good fun on that last lap. I just let him get an overlap at the last corner, and that's probably what cost me. But other than that, the rest of the race was good. Besides when he crashed into me, but yeah, it was good fun.
Well, indeed, certainly elbows were out with these cars, and you guys weren't afraid to put on a bit of a show for us there, up and down the field. I guess you say there you let him get an overlap on you at MG. I guess in plenty of respects, you're certainly a capable driver in your own right, but Chaz, obviously, with real world experience, would you be willing to consider or concede perhaps that maybe it'd be a case there where Chaz, I guess, really sort of threw everything on the line there and sort of forced you to concede the side by side there through MG?
Yeah, I was trying to make sure he didn't have that much of a gap behind me, so we wouldn't get a slingshot. So I tried to keep him close, but then coming out of MG, he was sort of giving me the hurry up and then shuffled me a bit wide, so I gave him the apex because he had a bit of a nose cone overlap, so I didn't want to turn myself on that. But yeah, that was good fun.
Yeah, certainly could have gone a whole lot worse if you tried to force the issue there through the last couple of corners. So props to allow you to run that one all the way to the end. Well, yeah, it's been a while since I think we've seen you in open wheel competition, at least, Eddie, and certainly a good pair of races for you tonight, both in the Formula V earlier and that F4 car here tonight. I guess obviously it's a one-off event here, the Ozicar Festival of Speed, but I guess, yeah, will we see you around at any time in the near future with any races in particular have you got eyes on at the moment, or are you sort of here, there, everywhere, wherever it takes you at the moment?
Yeah, pretty much here, there, everywhere. I'm enjoying a lot of sims at the moment, but might try and look at getting some more iRating maybe later.
All right, well, sounds like a good plan there. Before I let you go, Eddie, yeah, again, another well done to you. Anyone you want to thank tonight with that result there at the end of that one?
Oh, well, I'm not in a team, so there's not many to thank, but yeah, just my mum and dad. And Lewis Bahaja for spotting me in that race.
Sounds like a spotter would have been a pretty handy tool indeed. Well, thanks, Eddie. Good to chat with you, and hopefully catch you another time soon.
Cool, thank you.
So Eddie Beswick there, finishing P4, but certainly, yeah, pretty dang close to a P3. And, well, looks like Mr. Wilco got the message because he's waiting to have a chat with us. Wilco, certainly not quite the results perhaps you'd like to see, but got some good news there after the end of the Formula V race with the Formula 4 drive draw that you were able to win there. So congratulations on picking up that prize after the Formula V race there.
Thanks, mate. Is it bad form for me to say I'm really pumped with my results tonight? 15th and 17th, they were good. I was happy with that. But no, thank you. I had no idea what was going on until people jumped into chat and started yelling at me. So thank you, Brady, for telling me. Yeah.
Well, I guess, look, certainly, personally, if I said 15th, I said I got 15th and 17th, I'd be, depending on the field, I'd be disappointed in myself. But nevertheless, everyone's at a different pace, different place. So if a mid-pack finish is a good result for you and you're happy with that, certainly it's actually a good, I'd say it's definitely a good thing in terms of being able to take away some positives when the number doesn't necessarily look too flash sometimes. So I would say all the power to you, mate, because that's certainly a good attitude to have on track.
Yeah, mate. Look, honestly, it was scheduling conflicts leading up to this. So I until yesterday afternoon when my schedule cleared up, I didn't. Or till it was actually supposed to be Wednesday, Thursday night, and Wednesday night I couldn't do it. So I figured I wouldn't even try. And then when he decided it was only Thursday night, then that's when I decided to actually buy Winton and buy an F4 and do both races. So very glad I did after all that, I guess.
Oh, yeah, certainly paid out for you quite nicely there. So, given you've got the prize, any clue as to when you might be able to take advantage of it, or is it going to have to be something you're going to have to plan out here for in a little bit in terms
This will
of time?
be this will be a considerable plan on how to do it. I'll have to start talking to people and getting stuff sorted out. But I've been told I've got to vlog the experience through on the Locked On Lads YouTube channel and let people know how it goes. But it'll be it's always a good reason to plan a trip. So I'm sure the missus will be happy to get a trip underway just so I can drive around. So no, very pumped, very excited. It's such a great prize, and thank you to Ira for putting it on, and thank you for No Social Hate for coming on board and making it all happen.
Yeah, well, indeed. Congratulations for that one there, Wilco. Indeed, yeah, I think a lot of people will be looking forward to hearing your thoughts and experience. If you can, get that all up together and on the Locked On Lads page for you, everyone. Once that all goes through and, well, whenever it happens. And, well, we'll have to see who gets to be the lucky one to join you in terms of getting the prize. But have to wait and see when Ira is finished with immediate post-race control there. And hopefully he can join us in a couple of minutes' time to find out
Pull
the
your finger
second
out and
winner.
have a dip, Wilco.
Yeah, mate, I'm happy to stick around. Anytime I get to sit next to you and talk to you, I'm happy, mate. It makes my day.
I'm just saying when you get to Sydney Motorsports Park, you better give it a dip.
Oh, give it a dip, yeah, for sure, mate. For sure. For you, I will spin things and I'll do things and it'll look horrible.
Fantastico. You better leave just a bit of gravel in those radiators.
I will, mate. Don't worry, I will.
Well, I think everyone, definitely looking forward to hearing how that one goes there, Peter. So, congratulations on the prize once again for the Formula V race. And, well, almost time to find out who gets to be the lucky one after the Formula 4 races. We're once again joined by Ira Felberg.
So, guys, you didn't have to wait for me. You can go ahead and draw it. But, yeah, that's cool.
I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, when you're ready, man, you do it.
All right. Google random number generator 1 to 20, and Ira's provided the numerical list of 20 names, and get a little drum roll because the number is 11, which is Callum Heinrich.
Nice.
Congratulations to Callum then. There we go. Fortunately, I didn't get to do it, so there we go. So another driver getting the prize in there for that one there. I wonder, is Callum around at all? I wonder if he's been listening in. Be great to have a chance to chat with him if he's around at all. If not, unfortunately, we'll have to settle there for just you, Ira, and Pete and Wilco as well for a couple more minutes. But with the racing done here tonight, I guess Ira, a chance to sort of chat about what remains for the Festival of Speed this week.
Yeah, so basically we've got the Grand Prix on Sunday, so we'll be the only full-length Grand Prix that Ozicar and SimSpeed will run this year together. So, we've got about 16, 17 cars entered, so it should be a good race. A couple more will probably be nice, still plenty of time. So for anyone who wants that, full-length F1 experience, 44 laps around Spa. So, the numbers are looking good, but, a few more wouldn't hurt if anyone wants to jump in. Not too late. Just head to the website, to ozicar.net. And just want to say real quick before I go, big thanks to Chaz, obviously, for getting on board and supporting this. And honestly, I couldn't be any more stoked with the two people that have won, both long-time supporters of Ozicar and probably not going to go and drive a race car off their own back. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to do this. It forces someone to get in and have a go, because honestly, well, you know yourself, Dave, once you've done it, it just it's probably going to be life-changing stuff. So awesome. And just thanks everyone at SimSpeed and everyone for making this event happen. We will be back at looking at some regular F4 racing. So jump on the Ozicar website or Ozicar Discord for a bit more details about that. But we'll probably run something in the second half of the year, probably every second week or something like that we're looking at. So stay tuned.
Thank you very much there, Ira. And I think an F4 car, look, after that race there tonight, looks like it's going to be a good class to add to the Aussie car roster.
Yeah, it's actually a really good car. It's not that different to a kart, actually, because I just got back in the kart starting racing this year again. And it's a bit different because you can lock the front wheels, but the way the tyre moves around and all that, it's actually pretty good. Not much aero wash. You can follow close. I've done a few races with Sean and those guys who leave me for dead in the skippies, and yeah, I was able to stay with them. So it's got a lot of potential. I think it's going to be a good car. The skippies definitely not dead, but yeah, it's going to be a great car.
Well, I think everyone keep your eyes and ears tuned then on the Ozicar website and socials for news of that one in the coming, in the next couple of days and weeks. Well, David,
Draw winners with us here now, Dan.
Indeed, joined by the second of our drivers. Cal, congratulations there, mate, on being the second of our winners tonight for the Real World Formula Ford driver draw. And congratulations on it.
Oh, I'm floored. Thank you very much. I'd logged off and gone and done some things because I only raced in the V's tonight, and was just doing some stuff, and then just checked the Locked On Lads Discord, and I've got all these congrats messages. I'm like, what the? So thank you so much. Thanks to Ira for organising what was a really fun night. As I said, I only ran the V's, but had an absolute ball, and it's great to see an event like this being run, multidisciplinary, different tracks, different formats. It's awesome. And this is just a massive, very large cherry on top. And I get to share it with the big man himself, Wilco. So, wow. Thank you.
I smell a limited run podcast coming up.
Yeah. I think we might bring a new term to Drive to Survive, because I think we'll both be doing that. No, it's awesome. I've done a V Day out at a Formula V Day out at Eastern Creek on the short track, and that was actually what got me into iRacing. Just to go back out now and do it in a Ford's just going to be insane. So thank you.
Well, our pleasure to help facilitate that one there, as David, the man behind the number draw. But certainly, we'll pass on the thanks. Definitely goes to Ira and the No Social Hate campaign from Chaz. I think really we're just the messenger bodies at this stage. But I guess any ideas on how long it'll take to sort of plan out the trip and to make that drive for yourself possible, Cal?
Look, I don't know. I hadn't even thought about it, to be fair. I think we might, like Wilco and I'll probably have a chat. I think we'll make this a locked on thing. I think him and I might do a meet up down in Sydney, and I reckon we'll try and make it a joint thing, be it a vlog or an on location cast or something. We'll do something. I think we'll make something of it.
I think that sounds like a very good plan indeed, boys. Well, congratulations from us once again to the both of you.
No, thank you very much.
Thanks for racing once again, as always, and well done there on track, and well done with the prize draw as well. Well, David, I think that will mean it's time for us to start wrapping this one up here tonight. A little bit of a shorter event for us with the two races like so, but that concludes the first part of the Festival of Speed here on SimSpeed TV. And, certainly some good racing to get it underway here.
Yeah, and folks, you just got to remember that Grand Prix on Sunday. And if they find Ozicar.net or anywhere else that Ozicar is across Facebook and Discord and etc., and I believe entries are still open for that one.
Yes, that is correct indeed there. They said 17 cars currently lined up for that one on Sunday, but certainly we'll be happy to take a couple more to help fill out the grid. Well, and the more the merrier, as Ira said there a little bit earlier. And certainly full-length race, pit strategy requirements, tyre compound requirements. The only thing is it's a fixed setup series just to help you ease your way into it. And certainly Spa-de-Francorchamps, a good place to put down some F1 rubber on the sim, I would dare suggest. And it'll lead in from that pretty much straight into the V8 Scops racing on Sunday evening for good measure, which I'll be covering then, David. So I believe it'll be, I won't be able to race or commentate the F1s, but certainly will be a good prelude, if you will, to the sim racing later on Sunday as well.
Awesome.
Well, that will do us for tonight, folks. Big thank you to everyone watching along with us here. Before we sign off, I can't help but say it once again, a big thanks to everyone at the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series for their understanding, and our apologies for not being able to broadcast both events simultaneously tonight due to unforeseen circumstances. but big appreciation for their understanding. And we'll be back with them next Thursday at their normal time, their penultimate round of their series at Laguna Seca. And myself and David will be on that commentary once again. Well, all being to plan at least. We'll be on that one there for you guys, giving the call once again. But until the next time SimSpeed is live, which will be tomorrow night for the next round of the Logitech G V8 Scops Support Series, we head to Road Atlanta for the 4th round of the V8 Scops calendar for 2022. Till then, we hope you have a good evening here on Thursday, or wherever you are in the world, a good day and a good afternoon perhaps. And take care for now. My name's Daniel Yaman. It's been David Haynes alongside me in the commentary box. Scott Fontaine on production this evening. Thank you all very much for watching once again. And until next time, whenever that may be for you, but for us, it's certainly tomorrow night. Take care and bye for now.
Hey everyone, the USF 2000 is a blast to drive now, and here's your chance to learn it quickly. From my tutorial, VRS created a free bonus track guide for the Laguna Seca circuit, where you can learn exactly what I do in every corner to improve your lap times and get faster on track. You'll learn how to easily recognize brake markers, you'll find out which curves to attack and which ones to avoid, you'll know when to use the full track and when a sequence of corners requires a compromise, and you'll learn how hard to brake and when to lift. The VRS Quick Reference track maps are available free to download and delivered each week to your inbox. The entire Global MX5 series is available, as well as bonus maps like this one and many more. So if you're a new racer, or a veteran, or just anyone who wants to learn how to get faster sooner, the VRS track guides are for you. Just hit the link or button on screen and get yours today.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got rid of the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Section's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?